Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I'm Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. Hey, this is going to be addressed at a lot of states that have their own background check systems. Some states, they'll allow the FFLs just to run it straight through NICS. But some of these other states have come up with their own background check system, which usually consists of them just running a NICS background check, but having to run it through their system. Well, what if I told you right now that there was at least one place in the country where literally the Second Amendment does not exist, and it does not exist because of a technical failure? I'm not joking. We're going to talk to you all about it here in just a moment. So today, let's spend a few minutes and let's talk about the state where no one can get a gun right now. Okay, America, we are going to talk about something that actually happened right here in Washington State right after the election, conveniently, but where this is occurring right now is down in the great state of Nevada. Now, Nevada, like Washington, like many of the other states on this list, has their own unique background check system, which, when you look at what's done, typically it involves local law enforcement running a NICS background check, something the gun stores can do themselves, and then occasionally scouring mental health records to see if there's any kind of an involuntary commitment entered on that person's record. Beyond that, there's really nothing else to it. Well, what happens occasionally is the state system goes down for whatever reason. Now, in Washington State, we were down for almost 2 weeks following the election. How convenient. And they never really were able to tell us what had happened other than they had been hacked. Well, when we take a look at what's happened in the state of Nevada, and I want you to know that I am recording this video on the evening of September 3rd, and I've already spoken to some people down in the state of Nevada earlier today, and I want you to know that the person who tipped me off about this is Et2A Reno, right there on X. He works at a really large FFL down there in the Reno area, and so he tipped me off a few days ago that this was going down. But listen to this. Since early Sunday, August 24th, the Nevada state system has been down. And when I say down, I mean that there is not a single gun store anywhere in the entire state of Nevada that can complete a background check. Translation, there is not any human being in the state of Nevada that has taken possession lawfully of a new firearm since August 24th. Now, I should point out there is one exception, and that is if you hold a Nevada concealed carry license, you don't have to go through the extra background check. We used to have that in Washington also. We got rid of that years ago, so everyone in Washington State was subjected to our background check. Now, here's the worst part. If you take a look at the Nevada State website about what's going on and when things are likely to be fixed, it appears that, well, there's no end in sight, which, as you can see right here, recovery is in progress. Some services may be unavailable or delayed. Tells us the following. So I want you to know these are not allegations that I'm making up. This comes directly from the state of Nevada's website. Early Sunday, August 24th, the state of Nevada identified a ransomware-based cyber incident and immediately activated its cyber response plan, engaging in 24/7 recovery efforts. To contain the threat, teams isolated and took some systems offline while restoring others safely in stages. Oh, but there's more, because if you had personal data in some of these systems, a forensic review confirms that some data was exfiltrated. Investigators are determining scope. If personal information is confirmed, the state will notify affected individuals consistent with Nevada law. Now, the downing of the system was so widespread that most Nevada state offices were not even open Tuesday or Wednesday. They are, in fact, now supposed to be open, and there are some services that are back in line. There are some services that are sort of back online. And then, of course, there is what's happening with the Nevada background check system, which is absolutely nothing. Now, just to let you know that there were many other agencies that were affected by this, but apparently not to the degree of which lawful and responsible gun owners. Take, for example, what the website says about the Cannabis Compliance Board. Regulatory software is unaffected. Public health and safety measures remain in place. Beginning Thursday, August 27, 2025, CCB will temporarily accept payment in person or by mail. No penalties will be incurred for payments impacted by this incident. But when we get to the Nevada Department of Public Safety, one that you think would take priority because, well, it's about public safety, the website says the following. We are mostly status quo, with the exception that the public can call some of our division offices, but the ability to provide reports or anything they might need is still not available. And then here's what's available and unavailable according to the Nevada Department of Public Safety. Available: NHP dispatch phone lines, most in-office phone lines, law enforcement and public safety services. Unavailable: all online public services, including public records requests, crash reports, fingerprints, background checks, and some administrative services remain unavailable. So I want you to understand now, for over a week with no end in sight, the folks in Nevada have not been able to acquire any firearm, which means I believe they are being deprived of their Second Amendment right. Now, what could be done about this? Well, let me again explain what happened here in Washington. And Nevada, you can learn from this, and then we'll probably still go down the same terrible path, which is after our delay occurred, and there was about a 2-week delay where the system got hacked and they had to take it down, and it took them a couple of weeks to get it back up. In the meantime, you got all these firearms backing up. 4 senators in our state then sponsored Senate Bill 5056, which took the law that had created the Washington State background check system, and in the event of a system being down, provided that FFLs could do the following. Notwithstanding the subsections, whenever a Washington State record system is inaccessible or unavailable in such a manner as to prevent the Washington State Patrol background check program from complying with this law for a period of 7 consecutive days, the Washington State Patrol background check program may process the background check by complying with subsection 2C of this section and conducting a check of A, the National Instant Criminal Background Check System, B, any relevant Washington State record systems that are available at the time of the background check, and C, any other databases or resources as appropriate. Essentially, creating a backup plan. Now, what happened to Senate Bill 5056? It never got a committee hearing. And here's the bad news for Nevada. Your state legislature only goes back in session every other year, and they just finished a year up, which means you're stuck with this system. And even if you had the legislative will to put some kind of a fix in there in the event that you have this, you'd have to have an emergency plan here. They're not back in session until 2027. So I want you to be aware that you are in perhaps for a long ride. I want America to be aware that if you have acquiesced to these state background check systems, all it takes is something like this, and you literally can end up with an extended period of time in which people literally do not have access to their Second Amendment rights. Okay. The Nevada State website, we're going to go ahead and link it up down below so you don't have to take our word for it. You can see what's really going on there for yourself. If you got any other questions about this or anything else related to what's left of our Second Amendment rights, you guys should know how to get a hold of Washington gun law by now. But if you don't, that's okay. That information's down there in the description box. If you got an idea for a video we should be doing around here, click on that link right there and tell us all about it. If you want to subscribe to our monthly newsletter, the ability to do that is down there in the description box. And then finally, and most importantly, let's everyone remember that part of being the lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here, is to know what the law is in every situation and how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching and stay safe.